My name is Elena. I used to think that love was enough, that if I just loved my daughter hard enough, protected her fiercely enough, gave her every piece of myself, she would never be far from me. I was wrong. My daughter's name is Liana. She was born on a rainy September morning when the world seemed gray and trembling, but she burst into it like sunlight through storm clouds. Her first cry was small but fierce, like she already knew life wouldn't be easy and wanted to warn me. I raised her alone. Her father left before she could walk, but I didn't mind. I had her and she had me. For 17 years, we were each other's entire world. I worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on, came home late smelling of bleach and fried food, but she never complained. She would sit at the table doing her homework, waiting for me with a warm smile and cold dinner. She was brilliant, kind, quieter than most teenagers, but she had a strength in her I envied. Sometimes I would watch her from the hallway, brushing her hair, reading some thick book with her brow furrowed, laughing at something on her phone, and I'd feel like I didn't deserve her. She was too good for the world I gave her. We had plans. She would go to college, a real college, not some local one, and I would work overtime, sell whatever I had to, so she could go without debt. She wanted to study literature, said books were where she felt safe. I never told her I used to write poems once, before life made me too tired to dream. But life doesn't ask for permission before it breaks you. It was a Tuesday. She came home late, her face pale, her hands shaking. I thought she was sick at first, but when she finally spoke, her voice was so quiet I could barely hear it. "Mom, I'm leaving." At first I thought she meant for college, but it wasn't that. She was going to live with her father, the man who hadn't called once in 17 years. He had reached out a month ago, she said, promised her a better life, promised her things I never could, a house, a car, connections, freedom. I remember laughing, not because it was funny, because it felt like a bad joke from a cruel universe. I said, "You're joking, right?" She looked at me and started crying. I begged her. I begged my daughter like a child begging a parent. I told her he would hurt her, that he couldn't be trusted, that everything she was, everything strong and kind and good, it came from the life we built, not the one he was offering. But she didn't believe me. The next morning, I helped her pack. She cried the whole time. I did too, but silently. She hugged me like she wasn't sure if she'd ever see me again. I wanted to scream, to break something, to burn his face out of every photo, to drag her back and lock the door behind us. But instead, I just said, "Call me when you get there." She never did. It's been 3 years. I don't know where she is now. I send her messages sometimes, birthdays, holidays, just random "I love you" texts. She reads them, I can see that, but she never replies. The silence is the hardest part. The absence. I wake up some nights thinking I hear her footsteps. I set the table for 2 without realizing it. I fold laundry and imagine her sweaters, her jeans, but they're not here. Sometimes I wonder what I did wrong. Maybe I loved her too much. Maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I tried too hard to protect her and she mistook it for control. Maybe she just needed space and it became a canyon neither of us knows how to cross now. I still keep her room the same. Dust settles on her books, her posters fade, but I don't touch anything. It's the only part of her I have left. If she ever comes back, even just to say goodbye. I'll be here. Always. Because no matter how far she goes, no matter how much time passes, I will always be her mother. And she will always be my little girl. It happened on an ordinary Wednesday. The sky was overcast, and I was sweeping leaves off the porch. I had learned to live with the silence by then. I didn't expect miracles anymore. I didn't check my phone every 5 minutes like I used to. The pain had settled into a quiet, dull ache. The kind you forget is there until something brushes against it. Then the phone rang. Not a message, not a spam call. A real ring. Loud, sudden, alive. When I saw the name on the screen, I froze. Liana. My hands shook so badly I nearly dropped the phone. I answered on the second ring. Hello? My voice cracked like an old record. Silence. Then, Mom? It was her. Her voice was deeper now, older, but still her. Still the sound I used to hear through walls, through doors, through dreams. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to cry, to yell, to ask her 1,000 questions all at once. But instead I just said, "Are you okay?" She didn't answer right away. Then softly, "No, not really." I sat down on the porch steps, heart pounding. "I'm sorry I disappeared," she whispered. "I didn't know how to come back." I closed my eyes. "You don't have to explain. Just tell me where you are." She hesitated. Then, "A few towns over. I left his place a month ago." I couldn't breathe. "You left him?" She nodded. I could hear it through the silence. He was never what he said he was. He just wanted to control me, like I was a prize he won back. I kept telling myself it would get better, but it didn't. And when I tried to leave, She stopped. I didn't need her to finish. I could hear the fear behind her voice. I had known what kind of man he was. I had tried to warn her, but she had to see it for herself. "I have no one else, Mom," she said, her voice trembling. "Can I come home?" I didn't answer right away. Not because I didn't want her, but because the flood of emotions inside me threatened to drown me. Relief, rage, guilt, love, it all rushed in at once. "Yes," I whispered, "yes. Come home, please." She came the next morning. Thin, pale, tired, but real. When I opened the door, we just stared at each other for a moment, like we were strangers or ghosts from each other's pasts. Then she dropped her bags and threw her arms around me. We stood there crying in the doorway like no time had passed at all. The first few days were quiet. She slept a lot, ate very little. She wouldn't talk about what had happened at first. I didn't push her. We were careful with each other, like two people nursing the same broken heart. But slowly, she came back. She helped in the garden, she made tea in the mornings, she sat beside me in the evenings and we watched old movies in silence, sometimes laughing at the same jokes we used to love. One night she showed me her journal, pages and pages of poetry, raw, painful, beautiful. She had inherited more than my eyes. She had my words too. "I was angry at you," she admitted one night. "For a long time. I thought you kept me from something better. But now I realize you were protecting me, even when I didn't want you to." I reached across the table and held her hand. "I was just trying to hold on to you, maybe too tightly." She smiled. "I'm here now." And she was. Not the same little girl I raised, but not a stranger either. A woman shaped by pain and distance, but also by strength. A woman who came back home with scars and silence, but also with hope. Sometimes in the quiet mornings, I still wake up afraid she's gone again. But then I hear the sound of her humming in the kitchen or her feet padding softly across the floor, and I remember The space between us didn't break us. It taught us. Love isn't about holding on. It's about waiting, believing, welcoming. And now, every day with her feels like a second chance I thought I'd never get.